This is Chapter 12-3, Work Together. You are dealing in this section with the payroll register, and the payroll register summarizes that pay periods for all your employees, all your withholdings, everything related to that pay period. It's not an register, pay period. It shows your total earnings, your payroll withholdings, your net pay for all employees. And if you pay semi-monthly, then you're doing this twice a month. Okay, here it's already did your time card for you. You have a pay period ended July. How come that did that? July 15th. Okay, how do you know that? Well, if you look at your instructions, it says that the pay period ended July 15th. But date of payment is when, not everybody pays on the same date, but according to this one, they do. A lot of times, if you've got 300, 400 employees, your pay period will end a week prior to. In other words, I pay a week behind. After you get fired or you quit or you retire, whatever, you would still have that week's pay coming because most businesses will pay a week behind. And if you're getting paid monthly, sometimes you work a whole month before you ever get that check. So they're not paying you ahead of time, they're paying you after. So when you quit, you would still have another month coming. Anyways, they don't do that. They say the date of payment is going to be the same date. I don't know. Okay, if you add these together, you should get 1079, correct? Okay, same way here. You could add them together if you want to and get that over with. Okay, federal income tax. Remember how I told you have to go to the chart, you look it up. This person's married, has 2 allowances, go across. You just have to do that. I can't do it for you, but you would have a total of $48. Did it come out right? If not, relook at that. See why mine says 48 and yours says something else. This person's single, and they're only claiming 1. So look this total up, see what you come up with, and it should be $95. You're taking this amount times your rate on Social Security, and you should come up with $66.90. Medicare tax, this amount again, times your 0.0145, I believe it is, and you should come up with $15.65. In your reading, it tells you that everybody has to pay toward their health insurance. They only have to pay $60. And just so that you know, that's very cheap. My husband pays, I believe, $120 out of every check, and he gets paid every 2 weeks. So, okay. On this person has a bond. How come that didn't work? Is it not going to... When we handwrite it, we would put a B in front of it, and it's just not letting me put a B there at all. It's acting like I don't have the keyboard on. Okay, now if I take and add up my federal tax, my Social Security tax, my Medicare tax, my health insurance, and my other, this equals my total deductions. See this bracket, this header up here? This is putting these all together. Just like this, put those two together to come up with the total. This one puts these together to come up with the total. Add them together, what do you come up with? Hopefully the same amount. Net paid, well, net pay is your gross earnings minus your deduction. Net earnings minus your deductions, your total deductions. Do your math, get out your calculators, and hopefully you're coming up with that number. If not, I'm sort of cheating and not doing all the work, so here it's not letting me put in a check number on my workbook pages. Of course we do that in our workbook pages. Okay, now we take this amount times our rate on Social Security, which I'm trying to think, it's 6.2%, so it's 0.062. Okay? So you're coming up for Social Security, you should have came up with $60.25. Medicare tax, take that amount, your gross earnings, times 0.0145, sorry, 0.0145. Right? 1.45%, 0.0. Your health insurance is $60. I guess everybody has to pay the same amount. Where my husband works, they do it based on the amount of money you earn. So if you earn more money, you have to pay a higher percentage of your health care cost. Just kind of different. Then you go through here and they want you to total it up. $1,960. Overtime, how much overtime? How much is overtime costing the business? They want to keep track of that. How much are your total earnings for employees? What does it really cost you to have these employees? Well, it costs you a lot more than this because you still have to pay unemployment tax to both the state and the federal government. You have sometimes retirement cost. And of course, you as a business pay the large hunk of the health insurance normally. And here on, these are bonds, savings bonds. So in my workbook, we would put a B in front of it. This is not allowing us to do it. One, it's telling us where that money is directly going to. Whoops. Hit the wrong button. It happens. 1600.86. Okay. Now let's see. Do you have an earnings record for quarter ended? And the quarter ended September 30th, 2000. Okay, that's your third assignment. It says prepare a quarter, or your third instruction. Sorry. Oh, you need to prove this. I'm sorry, I skipped this little point. To prove this payroll register, you would take your total minus your deductions, your total deductions, and it should equal your net pay. If it doesn't, you have an error. You need to go back and find it. Okay, doing the earnings record. This little thing is my icon to make the camera work. Okay, and this is employee number 5. Where do I find that? Well, it tells me in my instructions. And what is their last name? First name, well, middle initial. Does it say their middle initial? Hmm. Hmm. I guess we'll leave that blank because it does not say. Does it say whether they're married or not? Skimming through it. How are we going to find out if this person's married? Look up here. Judy Hensley. She's married, has 2 allowances. Is that 2? There's 2. Right off here. It does not say a middle initial. I don't know why they put it in there if they don't say it. But all we can do is what we can do. Rate of pay is $13 an hour. Do they want the $sign in front? No. Evidently not. Social Security number. Where do we get that? It says it in the reading. It's 543690123. Boo! 543. Okay. What does this person do? Well, this person is a sales clerk. There we go. And in our reading, it tells us for the second quarter, the earnings was $13,520. Why we need to keep track of that is because after you make so much money, you no longer have to pay in Social Security on it. Kind of, woo, a little savings. Good luck. You'll have to do a job that pays a lot more than teaching by a long shot, and a lot more than the other jobs I've seen out there. It says Social Security taxes are only paid on the first $87,000. I want to say that was raised, but I'm not positive. I need to research that. Or you can research it. That'd be a fun project for you guys to do. You could research it and see what the new guidelines are, if they changed. Where am I getting this information from? It's not in the instructions. I'm getting it from up here. $39. I don't know. I guess I can make it work. 1079. Federal income tax, $48. Social Security tax, $66. Look at that. More Social Security tax than federal tax. And Medicare tax is separate than Social Security tax. Medicare tax you keep paying on your earnings. I'm thinking that it never hits a max, but Social Security does. Health insurance, $60. Other was $15. They give to, this goes to savings bonds. Some people give to the United Way. You'll have to deal with that. Net pay, see, I'm just coming across. 873.45. Now, my total earnings is done by taking this accumulated earning plus my net pay, and this is how much she's earned so far this year. That way I can just glance to see whether or not her money is exempt from Social Security. Some people will. My brother would be one of them. He does have a job that makes enough money to do that. His wife too. His wife makes more than he does. Okay, I know I went through that really fast, really rushed, but I hope you can do it. Go ahead and try to do on your own. and I'll look over the application. Have a great day.